What's up, guys? Josh Woods here, inside linebacker for the Chicago Bears, number 55, checking in, letting you know that right now you're tuned in to Friday Night Live with my good friend, Kat Carter.
Welcome to Friday Night Live. I am your host, Kat Carter, and I am so excited that you decided to come and hang out with us this evening because I have a dynamic guest with me tonight, and I have kidnapped him for the entire show. Yes, I have. I have national recording artist Russel Blake. Yes. So grab your tea, get ready. This is Stress-Free Zone. It's a perfect place for an end of a busy, crazy week. So if you're right here on Friday Night Live, you're at the right place at the right time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about a little bit of encouragement for you, and then we're going to bring Russell up. Okay, how about that? All right, our encouragement today reads, if I had to understand how everything I use in life works, I would probably not get much done. I know that my car, my computer, and oven work for me, and I use them. I am glad I don't have to know why the sun comes up every day in order to enjoy the sunrise. I just give thanks for the spectacular beauty and the display of color and light. I am blessed every day by the activity of God's order in the world. I am free to live my life in the order that God has created. In all matters, in all situations, divine order is active. If something happens that seems out of sync with that order, I trust God to bring about a solution. Taken from the Daily Word, 365 days of love, inspiration, and guidance. Okay, so I'm going to get you all going a little bit. I have a little question. I got a little question. Uh, Name a house you never want to be in. Name a house you never want to be in. Put your comments in the comment section. We're going to read those in a little bit. Let me tell you about my good friend Russel Blake. Yes, as a bassist, he has toured, recorded with, let me see if you know some of these names: Mary, Brenda Russell, Harry Belafonte, The Lion King, Dreams Girls, Motown, the musical, Broadway, New York, OMG, Shaka Khan, Sybil Shepherd. You know what? This can just go on and on. Tremaine Hawkins, Vanessa Bell Armstrong, OMG, yes. He has also been a guest soloist and orchestra bassist on several cruise lines as well. As an artist, music producer, and composer, he has several CDs out: Silent Power, Quiet Strength, Fierce Solitude. I love these titles. As a solo bass project, he has 10 Fingers and 4-String Solo Series Volume 1 through 4. Oh my gosh, he's also a renowned author. A couple of books: Proverbs 31, The Virtuous Black Woman Volume 1, and Real Men Don't Hit Women, 12 Principles of Effective Change Against Intimate Partner Violence. Yes, we're going to talk about those in a little bit. He's also an advocate for domestic violence awareness and an ordained minister. Please welcome to Friday Night Live, my good friend, Russel Blake. Hey there, Russell. How are you?
I'm cool. Thank you. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Kat.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. I just wanted to
Absolutely.
say before we get started that was dedicated to the Jacob Blake family in Wisconsin in light of the news that came out today. So just thinking of them and what they're going through. So just wanted to send them some expressions in harmony of amazing grace to keep the faith. Keep the faith.
Amen. Amen. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Okay. So I am just so honored and excited that you are in the Friday Night Live studios. How
Right.
did I get you here? Oh, oh my gosh. So we're going to be talking about some really wonderful things that are different different areas of Russell Blake, and I'm just so excited. You
Yeah,
have you're a man with many hats, and they are really wonderful, positive hats. And I wanted to start off with talking about your music a little bit, if that's okay.
of
We're
course.
gonna talk about the books. We're talking about domestic violence and fitness, which I need to do more of. We'll talk about that as well.
Okay.
All right. So, who or what sparked your desire to begin playing the bass guitar?
I was told the story many times, but I was 12 years old. It was my 12th birthday. And my mom informed me when I came home from school that my dad would be coming home from work with a very special gift. So I'm thinking football, I'm thinking basketball. My dad comes home with a electric bass, small $40 electric bass, and informed me about his vision that both of his sons were going to play this instrument. And while he's telling me how this bass is going to open doors and show me the world, all I could think about is how disappointed I was. So when he went to work the next morning, I took that bass and I took it out to the trash can and put it in the trash can because I was going to show him who I was. And I was not happy with this bass. Well, when he came home from work, he got it out the trash can and he was going to show me who he was. And he got me on that instrument, and I was studying 4 hours every day as a result of his discipline and his Spartan devotion to his vision that I was going to play this instrument. And the interesting thing about it is that my dad also is a professional musician, but he doesn't play bass.
Mm,
He plays the trombone and the trumpet. Yet he had the innate and inborn ability and the insight to teach not only myself, but my brother this instrument. So I knew that it took a special anointing from God in order for him to have that capability. It's like somebody that plays the tuba, but they're going to teach you everything about the harmonica, just two different instruments. So he had me studying 4 hours every day, and within 3 months' time, I began working as a professional, and that was at 12 years old.
wow. Thank you for sharing that story. Wow. Wow. Is the bass guitar the only instrument that you can play fluently?
No, I play about 7 different instruments. The bass, the 4 string electric bass, the 5 string bass, and my upright is in the closet there. But the stand up bass that you see played in classical orchestras and jazz bands, those are my primary instrument. That's how I make my living. But I also play piano because I use it obviously to compose and to create my music. I play drums, I play all forms of percussion, play a little bit of trombone. I still remember some of my trumpet. So, whatever instrument I could get my hands on, guitar, I believe that it's an exploration of another creative side of you. So, whatever instrument you can get your hand on, I encourage your audience to just experiment. There are enough beginner books, enough beginner videos.
Hmm.
See yourself playing the instrument, and with some devotion and some discipline, you'll be playing before you know it.
All right.
Yeah,
Do you play by ear and read or both?
both. But I was formally trained by my dad to read music. So he bought the best books when I was 12 years old, and not only the best bass books, but he also had me to learn using trombone books
Oh,
because
wow.
the bass and the trombone are in the same musical clef. It's called the bass clef. So by having me to study on through trombone books, it gave me a different approach to the instrument. And of course, when you're first starting out, one of the things you want to do, obviously, is to learn how to tune your instrument. And we didn't have the fancy tuners that we have today. We had
Mhm.
to tune our instrument by ear. So we would ask the piano player for a note, he would give us a note, and we would tune our instruments that way. And, excuse me, there were many times where if I'm doing a professional gig and a singer comes up and wants to sing a particular song and you don't know that song, you have to follow that singer. You have to follow the melody. So you're learning by ear. That's where
Mhm.
your ear training comes in. But I was formally trained to read music. My father emphasized that having the ability to read, you'll never be unemployed as a musician. You'll always have the ability to work. You'll have more opportunity to work. You won't have to turn down work because of an inability to read.
Oh, wow, that's good.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
mhm.
What is your recipe for a great song?
Well, the best songs have the best melodies, and it's melody, harmony, and rhythmic accompaniment under that. But a good melody, something short and sweet, and a good melody that people can remember and hum.
Okay.
Hmm.
How did you get your big break in your professional career?
Well, I started working at 12. So, fortunately, I grew up in New York City where there was a huge mix, a melting pot of musicians from all over the world.
Mhm.
So, I was able to not only I started out in Latin music, and but I was able to start working with so many different bands from so many different musical idioms, whether it was blues, our Latin music, of course. I played in some classical orchestras. I played in the Hunter College Orchestra playing classical music. I remember playing in Haitian
Wow.
groups. Haitian music was so intense rhythmically. Caribbean groups. So that was the beauty. I was very fortunate to grow up in an area where in New York you have all different types, all different forms, all different variations of music as opposed to growing up in one section of the country where there's only one type of music. But in
Right.
New York, you have country music, R&B, funk, hip hop, Haitian, Caribbean, Chinese, Arabic, the whole nine yards. So I was exposed. And for me, that was a big break, having that blessing of being exposed to all types of music. And I didn't just walk into those bands and automatically know how to play their music. It
Mhm.
was, again, the gift of knowing how to read music so that when they put the chart in front of me, I was able to play the music. My father's emphasis, once again, that if I have to play Chinese music, as long as there's a chart in front of me, I can read it.
You can do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So he only meant that as, one of the most foreign types of music that we hear in the States. So,
Wow. The
yeah.
plethora of the different styles of music that you have been exposed to or just had the opportunity to like work with is just amazing. Wow.
It's a huge blessing. On the planet, we have, at last count, over 200 different idioms of music around the world. But musicians know it only boils down to two: it's either good or bad. So there's good soul music, bad soul music, good
Mm.
blues, bad blues, etc. But ultimately, all music is soul music because it comes from our soul and it resonates and it heals. If it's good music, no matter what form of music it is, its job is to heal. You know, so
Right.
it's either good or bad. And I tell musicians never limit yourself to one being a one-dimensional musician, playing only one type of music. Quite often, I will find as a professional musician, this is no slight on anybody, but you'll find that classical musicians, that's all they can play. They are trained and conditioned to play only classical music. They have a hard time playing, say, jazz
Hmm.
or Latin. And Latin musicians may have a hard time playing a certain other type of music. Jazz musicians may have a hard time playing another type of music. So that's the blessing that I've been given, that my father exposed me to all types of music.
Yeah.
I can easily perform them.
Okay.
Hmm.
Um, Name something on your bucket list that you have not done yet.
I really don't have an answer for that. To be quite honest with you.
Zip lining,
Uh,
parasailing, chase the giraffe.
I see what's on your bucket list. Okay.
I do want to do zip lining. I've never done zip lining, and I want to do whitewater rafting. I've never done
All
that.
right. All
Yeah.
right. Don't forget to share the video on the show when you
Oh,
do
you
it.
know I will. Yeah, it's going to be hilarious, I'm sure. All right. What advice can you give someone who is wanting to have a career as a professional basis, or just I have a couple of singers and professionals on the feed right now. What kind of encouragement or advice could you give them?
Well, the first order of business is discipline. If you're serious about learning an instrument and or getting into the business of music as a professional, the first order of business is being disciplined, being convicted, and through your discipline, practicing your instrument. You're only going to get good at what you desire to be by practicing. We can look at a concert pianist on stage, a classical pianist, for 2.5 hours. What we don't see is the 1,500 hours of practice that he put in order to get to that moment. I know for me, I made a conviction that I was going to study 10 hours a day. I wanted to have the ability to play this bass as no man has played it before, and that was my prayer. But I know in order to do it, a serious sacrifice would have to be made in order for me to invest spiritually, psychologically, physically, and emotionally into this instrument to bring my vision to pass. So I made a pact with myself that I was going to study 70 hours a week. And I was able to do
Wow.
that even while raising small children and working full time as a musician. I would get up at 4 in the morning, do 3 hours on my instrument, find 3 hours in the afternoon, then 4 hours at night before going to bed. And I would do 10 hours a day, 70 hours a week, 280 hours a month. And as a result of doing that, my productivity became exponential as to what my abilities were on the instrument. And I started developing a technique that allowed me to play melody, harmony, and rhythmic accompaniment simultaneously. Because usually bass players are they just play one note. But I knew that by investing in this instrument that it had the same capabilities as a solo guitar
Hmm.
or piano to be a solo instrument. So I started slowly learning how to play songs on the instrument. And I started building a repertoire. And now I have about 448 songs in my repertoire. About
Wow.
448 songs. I don't know if you can see all of that, but it's as a result of making that sacrifice of discipline. So I would encourage anyone who wants to get into this business, the best that you want to be, find yourself someone of whom inspires you. Let's say like Prince, for
Hmm.
example, a
Hmm.
musician's musician, and he only became as fluent and as virtuoso that he is on guitar and bass and piano by studying. So that's what you're going to have to do. Make that sacrifice to put aside the time, forgetting everything else, getting some of the best books so you can try to learn how to read. You don't want to limit yourself if you want to make employment your objective of the instrument. You want to try to formalize your training as much as possible. So learn how to read to the best of your ability and practice your instrument several hours a day. And you will be surprised that in due time you will be playing much better as time goes on.
Yeah, that's a serious commitment, dedication, and devotion. Wow. You mentioned Prince, so I'm curious, who were some of your musical performers that you were fascinated by or you admired as a kid?
Coming up in a household of music, I heard everybody. Everybody was played from Mahalia Jackson to Dinah Washington, all of the great calypso performers, all of the great jazz performers, Duke Ellington, Count Basie, John Coltrane, Eric Dolphy, Billie Holiday, Nancy Wilson.
Wow.
I heard opera, I heard gospel, I heard Latin, I heard it all. Sammy Davis, all around performer, Sammy Davis, just so inspiring. So I was very fortunate to grow up in an era where our music was so much more organic than it is today. Today, there's so much artificiality or superficiality to our music through machines and everything else. But
Hmm.
I was able to grow up in an era where it was much more organic. and you had live musicians, not only on record, but in performance. And there was no lip syncing or any of that. So I would say, um, to anyone again, wanting to learn, to not limit yourself and to listen to all forms of music and try to seek out who are the best performers in that music. If it's salsa music, check out Celia Cruz. If it's jazz music, there's a long history that we have of jazz artists who were innovative, from Art Tatum, Charlie Parker, John Coltrane, Sonny Rollins. And on each instrument, we have so many innovators, whether it's bass, piano, guitar, etc. So there's a literal university that is available to us today if we really want to learn an instrument and to become inspired by great performers. We have more revelation and awareness and access today than at any other time to inspire
Mm,
us. You know what I mean? Because
yes.
back in the day, if you were in New York and another famous musician was living in Chicago, you couldn't get to hear that person unless they came to New York or
Hmm.
you traveled to Chicago. Today, you have access by way of the internet to see these individuals on film anytime, 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
So, but who was I inspired by? Everybody. I was inspired by
Everybody.
everybody.
Everybody. I wanted to give a few shout outs. There's a few professionals on here. I have some singers. I have DJs. Kimberly Brewer is on here. Kimberly Brewer, beautiful soloist. Um, Whittington Steele, she's on here as well. I saw Jazzy, my good friend Jazzy Ward. He is a announcer. He works at a radio station. He does. Uh, he's on Facebook. He's on YouTube, and so I wanted to make sure they're listening to you and they're getting all this rich encouragement. So I'm glad to have them on here. So I
Oh,
wanted to make sure I did.
yeah.
It's probably some others that I don't see them just yet, but I wanted to make
I,
sure I did mention those.
I definitely send a shout out to each and every one. They're all beautiful entertainers, singers, professionals in the business. So,
Yes,
shout
yes.
out.
Okay. So let's take a little break. And then when we come back, let's talk about your books and maybe give a couple away. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So we'll be right back, Russell.
All right.
Okay. Okay, here is the trivia question of the evening. What awards has an EGOT winner won? What does EGOT stand for? Put it in the comments. You're going to get one of Russell's books that we're getting ready to talk about. Let's see. I bet they don't know. And while you're doing that, I want to remind you all about tomorrow. All right, Happy Guitar standing on their shoulders. There is a CD release in I'm about to say Houston, in St. Louis. I will be hosting the CD release of Happy Guitar Haynes. Greg, Happy Guitar Haynes. It's going to be from 2 to 4 at the Happy Place, 9944 Diamond Drive, St. Louis, Missouri, from 2 to 4. So if you are not busy, if you want to come hear some great music, maybe get a CD and a t-shirt. I'll show you that in just a second. Why don't you come by and say hi? It's going to be a wonderful time. I'm so excited to be a part of this celebration. Again, this is the Standing on Their Shoulders CD release celebration tomorrow from 2 to 5. And of course, if you have any questions, the phone number 314-769-1111. All right, let's go back to Russell. Let me show you all this t-shirt. Oops, making too much noise. Ah, this is a picture of his CD cover, which was designed by my brother-in-law, who is also our graphic designer, Derek Donaldson. Yes, so I hope to see you in the place. I hope to see your face in the place. That's what we used to say back in the day. All right. Yes, yes, yes. Russell.
Hey,
Gotcha. All right, we're back with Russell Blake. Are you all having a good time and enjoying this interview? I know that I am. It's a lot of great information, a lot of encouragement. On the first half, we got a chance to talk to Russell about his music. Now we're going to talk about some of these books. Mm-hmm. 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 So,
boom.
the virtuous black woman, Proverbs
Mhm.
31, the virtuous black woman. Oh my gosh. So here's one, and the other one. Real men don't hit women. Yes.
Amen.
Real men do not hit women. 12 faith based principles of effective change against intimate partner violence.
Yes.
Wow. Do you have a favorite out of those two books?
No. Mm-mm.
No.
Good.
I'm going to turn this up just a touch. Okay. When did you realize you wanted to be a writer?
Well, really didn't set out to be a writer. It was something that came about. I've learned a long time ago that language is a gift, but listening is a responsibility. And I don't necessarily mean listening to someone else as much as listening to your inner voice.
Mm-hmm.
So my inner voice was sharing with me nuggets of wisdom that I began putting down on paper.
Okay.
Hmm.
How long did it take you to write? Let me see.
Which one?
The Proverbs 31.
Proverbs 31 came about. Wasn't my timing, wasn't my idea. It was God's timing and God's idea. I accepted an offer to go on tour to 45 countries in 145 days. It was my intent to party, to enjoy myself, and the first stop was Hong Kong.
Whoa.
I got in Hong Kong, as I said, it was my intent to enjoy myself. And again, language is a gift, but listening is a responsibility. The voice inside of me, which I knew was God's voice because it was still, it was clear, it was concise, and it was wise. He told me his plans for me on this tour, that I was to go to the oldest church in every city visited in the 45 nations that I was touring to. That he was not happy with how his daughters were being portrayed, were being exemplified, were being displayed in music videos, in literature, in magazines, in films. And considering the fact that the Black woman is the first woman on the planet, there's a special relationship that God has with that woman because she is the first teacher, the first nurturer. The science of nurturing was first brought about through the Black woman. So God told me that He wanted me to go to the oldest church in every city that I visited. And I did that, and I took my laptop, and as I sat inside, began to meditate, the words just started downloading into my spirit, and I began typing them out. Everywhere I visited, Hong Kong, Australia, Tahiti, Bora Bora, all over, Indonesia, everywhere that I went. And step by step by step, the book was formulated. And by the time I got off of that tour, 145 days later, the manuscript was completed.
Wow.
Yes, that's how that came about.
I really like your some of your titles, balance, purpose, simply because spirituality. These oh my gosh. This is a rich book of a lot. Oh wow. Listening.
Yes,
Can we talk about that a little bit? Listening?
sure. If you'd like to, yeah, I'd have to turn to it. But It's not a book of poetry, but more so a book of Psalms. It's letters of love from the Creator, using me as a vehicle to his daughters. And the book is written in honor of my mom, the woman of my family, and the
That's
woman of my
beautiful.
community. And it's written to encourage, educate, edify, support, cherish, and love the Black woman, and the virtuous Black woman at that. And mind you, this is volume one, because virtue is not an attribute that is indigenous to Black women alone. Women of all races are virtuous. But volume one was dedicated to my mom, family, and women of my community. Volume two will simply be Proverbs 31, the virtuous woman. Okay, so you wanted to go to listening? The piece
Yeah,
entitled Listening?
or you want to pick another one?
No,
Pick either
no, if
one.
that's what you got. What page is that on? Did you see the
I closed the
page?
book. Oh, 59.
It's on page 59. Okay. And so, Kat, you are going
I mean,
to.
just that title of that chapter, I was like, whoa,
Okay. Would you like to read some?
nah. I don't want to give them too much out of the book because I want them to get the book.
I
But
understand. Well, I'm not going to read the whole piece, but it
okay.
starts, it says, let us both reverence, virtuous Black woman, let us both reverence unto God for our portion of his loving favor this day. For the diversity of his wisdom reconciles us unto his joy, being our strength. As a child finds happiness through recompense of obedience unto his parents, incumbent in our joy to manifest as our obedience unto God in listening to his voice. We will listen. One more verse. Virtuous Black woman of God, compass all of yourself about me. Strange and indifferent will I be to all other voices. I am beset only by the inner conscience to love you fluently and in every language. For my speaking importunes little, but loving you gratifies all of my needs, and I will listen. And it
Wow.
goes on. And it goes on. So
Wow.
again, these were not my words. These were words that were downloaded into me.
I can tell that you have a sensitive ear to the voice of the Lord looking at reading some of this. This would be a wonderful meditation type of book, a wonderful encouragement type of book. And we're going to be giving one of these away in just a little bit. Tell me about real men don't hit women.
Domestic violence awareness has been a passion of mine for the past 11 years. I've been very fortunate to be affiliated, associated with, and partnered with about 5 different nonprofit domestic violence organizations across the country, from Los Angeles to Atlanta to New York. So, again, I went on tour, and these words started pouring into me. Because one thing as a writer, that's why you always hear about writers leaving and going to a cabin in the woods and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get away from your normal space to somewhere where your mind can be clear and can open up to receive the words in order to write them down and create your manuscript. Um, I come from a background where domestic violence was something that was very foreign. It didn't happen in my household and it didn't happen in my community. A lot of people say, well, I wrote this book because I witnessed my mom being abused, or, I must be a ex-abuser. It's totally opposite. I grew up where a dynamic where women in my family and in my community were protected by men. You did not just walk up into our hood and threaten or disrespect any woman in our community. The men of the community would gather around and protect all of the women in our community. And it was the same way in my family. So growing up as I matured and seeing this dynamic of domestic violence, not only here in this country, but around the world, where men are beating up women, is totally foreign to me. And it impassioned me to stand up and say, no, this is wrong.
Right.
Let us be clear, domestic violence not only affects women, but it affects men as well. An
Mm-hmm.
abuse of any kind, whether it's against a woman, a man, or a child, is wrong. Period. It's wrong. So before I wrote this book, I decided this tour that I was being offered to do, I was going to study this dynamic of domestic violence in each country that I went to. And so I went to Oman. I was in Dubai. I was in Egypt. I was in several European countries. I was in Australia on this tour. And it just really blew my mind to find out how the dynamic of domestic violence is just as bad, if not worse, in all of these other countries. One person, when I was in Dubai, they couldn't meet with me publicly because to speak about domestic violence in that part of the world, people are being killed, they're being murdered. You cannot speak on domestic violence in those parts of those regions of the world. In Vietnam, you cannot speak about domestic violence. So women are being abused secretly, and any source of help that they may be able to get is something that is done secretly. So I was scheduled to meet with someone to take me to a domestic violence shelter in that part of the world. And I thought it was like a James Bond movie because you had to make a call and you had to go over here and then make another call and then go over here, make another call, and the person is supposed to meet you and you're supposed to look for a white car. It was so secretive. And at the last minute, they took me to the location where the shelter was for the women so that I could try to interview the person who was running the shelter. But apparently, some kind of breach in the security happened. They got nervous because they didn't know who I was.
Mm-hmm.
So they were concerned that I was there to spy for the government. You know, they didn't know who I was. They just found out that I wanted to meet with the director of their organization. So at the last minute, the meeting was called off. After I went through all these hoops trying to meet this person. And that's how sensitive of a nature domestic violence is in other countries. And these are places where, like in India, these are places where women are being burned alive. They're being burned alive in the streets, gasoline thrown on them in broad
Oh
daylight,
my
being
God.
burned, where ears are being cut off, hands are being chopped off. And there's no accountability, there's no recompense, there's no consequence. It is accepted as in a masculine dominated society, you know. So we have horrific things happening right here in this country,
Yeah.
you know. So God said, no, this is not how we are supposed to be treating each other. And so he gave me 12 faith based principles, which I have put into this book. And just to read those principles down real quick, for all men of valor, it's about the principle of power, sacrifice, confidence, discipline, integrity, discernment, faith, gratitude, understanding, honor, protection, and sharing. In practicing those principles as men of valor, it will help to transform us. So, this book, I have been contacted by many men who have told me that this book has helped to transform their behavior, to transform their lives. And I'm so very grateful for that. Women have bought the book for me to give to their sons so that they will have a guide in righteous behavior towards women. Domestic violence kills, and it's killing every day. 20 women per week die in this country from domestic violence. Of that, over 35% of those women are African American who die every week as a result of domestic violence. And too often it's not spoken about because women oftentimes are very afraid. They're intimidated, and their friends and family are not even aware that they're being abused. Too often men don't speak about it because they're stigmatized. Men don't often tell other men, hey, my girlfriend or my wife is beating me up or she's abusing me. We've got to get past that. We really must get past that. Because if we cannot have peace and harmony in our home and an interrelationship with one another that is based in love and cherishing the value of each of our lives, then how can we expect our nation
Right.
peaceful? How can we?
Right.
How can we expect our children to be peaceful?
Right.
So I implore everyone to go for this book. It's available on Amazon. I'm not trying to shell. I'm not trying to make money. I'm just trying to do my part to heal.
Wow. You said a mouthful, and it really opened my eyes because I never really considered. I know that it goes on here, but I never considered the other countries. I mean, there are women in other countries that are dealing with it as well. And also, when you were talking, it reminded me of kind of how the way I was growing up. It was like what goes on in the house stays in the house. Everything is just, and so you're right. We need to start speaking up. We need to start using our voice so that the next woman or the next man don't have to go through maybe what you went through. Wow, this is just wow. This is just mind blowing. Mind blowing. I didn't know it was this deep. I knew it was deep, but you just took it to another level that I didn't even consider. And so I thank you for that. And I'm sure that you're encouraging some people on the feed. Maybe they've been abused or they know someone that is in that type of situation. And then
Correct.
I thought when I looked at this book in the back, there are a bunch of different addresses. And are these different centers or different places people can go for help in the back?
Yes. One of the things about the book is that it has a 70-page resource in the back of the book that allows men, if they are struggling with anger management issues and issues of abuse, in the back of the book for every state throughout the United States and Canada, I have listed resources where they can go, Christian based counseling centers, where they can seek help discreetly and anonymously. So that's another asset of the book because it's about transforming men from who they were to who they need to be,
Right, right,
especially if they have children of whom
right.
they need to be a role model for. So if they are sincere in wanting to reevaluate their lives and
Break the
change
cycle.
their lives and break the generational cycle, because
Hmm.
most often domestic abusers are following a
Right,
generational
right,
curse.
right,
So
right.
if they want to break that curse, there are plenty of resources in which to do it. So that's another asset of the book that you will find a plethora of counseling centers, probably right in your own neighborhood. I've listed them for every state in the United States, all the major cities. There's at least 10 for every major city in the United
Wow,
States. Hmm.
wow. So I have one of each that I'm going to be giving away tonight, and they are already autographed by Russell. So you all, um, matter of fact, let's give the first one away for the first trivia question. Cheryl, do you have a winner? Okay, Russell, this was the question. Where is it? What awards has the EGOT winner won? Do you know what it is, Russell?
No, I don't.
You don't know? Yes, you
Mm-mm.
do.
Nope.
The correct answer is Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and a Tony.
Oh, yeah, I knew that. I knew that. I just want to see if you knew it. Yeah, I got one of them EGOTs too. That's an EGOT, man.
Yes, EGOT. Cheryl was our winner. Do we have a winner?
Praise God.
She's laughing at you.
Our winner today is
Uh-huh.
Auntie Ada.
Ada Foster in Kansas. Congratulations.
Great.
She's going to get Proverbs 31 Virtuous Black Women,
All
Volume
right.
1. Of course, I
Can
have
I
another
give
one to
a
give
little
away, but
promo on that book?
say it again.
Can I give a quick
Absolutely.
promo
Go
on
ahead.
that
Yes,
book just
yes.
so that your listeners will know that the book has been validated because I was contacted by emeritus poetess Maya Angelou before she
Wow.
transitioned. I sent her a copy of the book just as a gift in return for all that she has given to us. And I got a letter about 2 weeks later sent by her manager, but in Maya's handwriting, thanking me immensely for writing this book and how much it is needed. So I got her endorsement. I got the endorsement of jazz greats Sonny Rollins, Randy Weston, Kim, oh, geez. Kim Coles, the
Mhm.
actress. Kim Coles also endorsed it. I also got Janetta Coles, who was the president of the University, Spelman.
Wow.
So I have several people. And last but not least, Michelle Obama.
Wow.
Sent her a copy as well, just
Yes.
as a gift.
Awesome. Yeah.
And she wrote back and said she could not endorse it because at the time she was First Lady. So, in her official capacity, she was not allowed to endorse it, but she wanted me to express to everyone her full support behind this book. And she also had her daughters reading it as well, because
Wow.
it was uplifting, educational, and edifying. So, I just wanted to throw that out there.
That's
Really,
makes the book even more special.
there you
Wow.
go.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm
I
talking
have Russell's web site at the bottom of the page. Can they get the your music or the books or both at the website?
They can get the books, the music, my bills, anything they want. They can get it all. There's a special link for my bills. They just got, yes, they can get anything. The books and the
Okay.
music, all on the website.
All right. So let's do the second trivia. You know, the show is almost over, Russell. You're gonna have to come back. It's just too much. You have just so
Oh,
much in you that you have to share with us. Let me see. Hold on.
romance.
Okay. Who has won more tennis grand slams, Venus or Serena? I'm bringing this up because there's a new movie that's coming out. It's called the uh-oh. Okay. It's called the King Richard with Will Smith. It's based on a true story, and I believe it. I'm not. I think I want to go see it because I'm wondering if it has to do with their lives or how they were raised or how they came into tennis and whatever. So
Yes,
anyway, that's the question. Who
yes.
has won more tennis grand slams, Venus or Serena? What's the answer, Russell?
Serena.
Serena? We'll see. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure that I let you end the show with one more live performance.
Okay.
But in the first performance, I think the bass might have been off a little bit, so we may have to do a little um,
Well, tweaking.
technical. Yeah, just before we do the other one because I want them to hear the beauty of your music.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm not sure. I did lows and I did highs like we did when we did our sound check, but I don't know. Something
Okay.
might have changed. So tell me what to do and I'll do it on my end. You guys hold on just a second and we're going to.
So you let me know how it sounds on your end.
Okay.
I can adjust from there.
Now that sounds pretty good. The other one, it kind of muffled a little bit when we played. It made it.
Well, I was playing with a lot of intensity because when we sound checked a couple of days ago, the verdict wasn't in. The verdict came in today, and I was not happy about it. So I was playing with a little more intensity. So
Oh,
if
okay.
you
Okay.
recall, yeah, just bring down the lows, and I'll bring up some highs, and maybe that will help to clear it up a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
Let me know if it's muddy or too loud.
it's not muffled like it was on with Amazing Grace, and I had the lows down, but then I couldn't figure out what I was trying to fix it, and I don't know if I made it worse on Amazing Grace. I did the best I could, but I have the lows down a little bit, and I had the treble on just middle.
You let me know.
What do you all think in the comments? Let me know how does it sound. Oh wow! All right, I'm waiting for the pros to let me know how it sounds. I think it sounds okay. Somebody says it sounds okay. All right.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
All right. I don't know. Let's talk. Okay, we only have a few minutes. Should we talk? Let's talk about fitness a little bit.
All right, cool.
Okay, so
So you had me to do a sound check so we can talk about fitness.
but see, I'm gonna let you in with the show. I'm gonna let you in with the show. So I'm gonna let you end the show. I'm gonna show you're gonna take the show out.
I understand. I got
It's
you.
been a long week,
Yes,
hard times.
I know the feeling. I know the feeling.
Okay, so I have a mixture of
Yeah,
age groups on. I have some younger ones. I have young adults. I have
right.
um, adults, and then I have seasoned adults on here. So
Hmm.
can you give us like some things that maybe a few tips or things that we could do at home? Maybe, I don't know, a chair exercise or stretching or something that we could do at home, just to kind of help our balance or help our strength or just help us out
Well,
overall?
first thing, like with an instrument, it all begins with discipline. It's all about discipline and committing yourself and having a conviction that you're setting a goal for yourself that you're going to see through. All right. And not allowing anything to distract you. All right. So you set a goal. Let's say you're doing some push ups. You want to learn how to do some push ups. You do a minimum of 3, a maximum of 5. You do 3 sets of that, right? 3 sets in the morning, 3 sets in the afternoon, 3 sets in the evening. Do that every day, right? So if we do, let's just say 5, that's 15 a day. That's 60 in 4 days, right? And what is it? Probably about 75 to 90 in a week's time. And you'll notice in a very short space of time, the body will respond and you'll get stronger. So the key is discipline and consistency. So start out slowly with some push-ups. Now, let me demonstrate something real quick. All right. And you see, you can go on a counter. You don't have to go on the floor.
Okay.
Just on a counter, a kitchen counter. That's 3. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. You do 5 of those in the morning, 5 in the afternoon, 5 in the evening, and you'll notice in several days that your body will be getting stronger gradually. Now, what's incorporated in that is you've got to have proper rest.
Moving the camera, Russell.
Nutrition. Excuse me?
Moving the camera.
Uh-oh. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
What's incorporated in doing those exercises that you've also got to commit to proper rest, 6 to 8 hours every night, as well as proper nutrition. And you have got to be the policeman of your diet, which means eliminating all toxic foods from your diet, eliminating fast foods from your diet, because too many of us are suffering from too many metabolic issues such as high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, et cetera, et cetera. And too much of it is brought on as a result of the bad diet that we are doing every day. So you have push-ups as one. The other one would be squats.
Oh, them knees.
After you hear them cracking a couple of times, it won't bother you anymore. You be all right. So you want to do anywhere from 5 to 10 squats, as well as the push-ups in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. And the beauty about it is you don't need any equipment. You can do it at the office. You can do it at the workplace. You can do it anywhere. All you need is a floor, basically, and a commitment that you are going to slowly and gradually change your life through fitness. How I got into fitness, short story real fast. 1989, I went to a cardiology appointment because I was born with a heart condition. And I was told at 25 I needed to be seen by a cardiologist. I went to the cardiologist. He diagnosed me with bundle branch blockage. He told me I had 1 year to live. At the time, I was 125 pounds and had 2 small children. And he wanted to put me on about 12 to 15 different medications. And I knew if the heart trouble didn't kill me, these medications certainly work. So I went to God, as I always do, and asked for the solution. And God slowly gave me the answer. Proper rest, proper nutrition, proper exercise. Ultimately, that's all we really need. Proper rest, proper nutrition, proper exercise. That's an organic solution to bring you back to the fullness of health that we all need and deserve. So there are many different exercises that you can do, but I would say start out with the basics. You can do what I call the push-offs. Push. One more. Push. You do your squats. Make sure your feet are straight and they are shoulder width apart. Do your squats. Very important for your foundation and for balance. And last but not least, don't forget your core. So even sitting in a chair.
I'm gonna try to do it. I'm trying to do it.
Don't kick nothing over, Cat. Watch the vase. Watch everything there. There you go. Now bring it up and
Yeah,
out.
okay.
In, out. In, out.
Mine is out. They going in. But I'm gonna try it. I'm going to try it. All right.
Simple tips.
So Russell also does classes. He does Zoom fitness as well. Is
Yeah.
information on that on your webpage as well if someone wants to
Yeah, they can just
hire you?
contact me by email. Russell with 1L.Blake at Yahoo.
Okay.
Contact
Oh,
me
I
by
got
email.
Russell.Blake info on there. Is that wrong?
No, that's the website address.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's fine. But the email is russell.blake at Yahoo.
Okay.
But they can contact me through the website.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Russell, I really want to keep talking, but we're right at 8 o'clock, and
Oh,
I'm
wow.
gonna have to have you come back again. I have to have you come back again.
All
That
right.
went by too fast. So I'm gonna allow my daughter to give a couple of shout outs, and then we're gonna let you take us out of the show. I just want to say thank you so much for
Thank you.
giving up your time, coming and hanging out with us on Friday Night Live. This was very informative, very encouraging, and what we needed to hear. Best wishes on your future
Thank you.
endeavors, your future projects.
Thank
And when time permits, I'd love to have you come back again. I mean, this was just wonderful. A plethora of just encouragement, inspiring words, just even the stories that you told, the testimonials were just really just wow.
Thank you. Kat.
Yeah. So I'm going to let her do a few shout outs and then I'm going to let you take us on out. Is that okay?
That's fine. Thank you.
All right. Let me pull Cheryl up so she can do her Cheryl shout outs.
Hi. Hello, hello, hello. Let's see. First off, we didn't even do the winner.
Oh, we got to give a winner for the second? Okay, so this is the winner for Real Men Don't Hit Women. Yes, 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 yes. 12 faith-based principles of effective change against intimate partner violence. All right. Who's our winner?
Our winner is Miss Sheila Bowens.
Sheila Bowens. Congratulations, Sheila. I need your mailing address so that I can get this to you. Both of these books are autographed personally by Russell. I have my own copy too now. Yes, but they are personally autographed by by Russell. So I know that you all are going to enjoy this. Those that have not won, go check out Russell's website page, russellblake.info. You'll see all of his music, all of his books. You'll see some of the things he's been doing and encourage him. I mean, he's doing some really strong work. All right, Cheryl, go ahead.
All right, let's see who we have here. We have Miss Kimberly Brewer stepping in on Facebook, as well as Miss Tina Wilson. Hello. We have Jazzy K hopping in as well. It's always good to see you. Miss Bonnie Wilson on YouTube, always holding it down for us. Hey, girl. We have Miss Portland Nisi Ward. Hey, it's good to see you. We have Walter Williams, president of the NAACP, in the house. We have Lady Jackson. Hi, Lady Jackson. We have Illumination King Teachings. Team Donaldson over there, over on YouTube. It's good to see you. We have Miss Whittington Steele. I believe she was new. Welcome. I hope you enjoyed. We have Auntie Sally. It's good to see you as well. Congratulations, Sheila Bowens. Hope you enjoyed the book, as well as congratulations to Ada Foster as well. Congratulations. We have Miss Mamie Sanders. Hey, Auntie Mamie. Karen Lee how do you say Auntie Karen's last name?
Ridgel.
Thank you. I failed. We have Jonathan Hampton. Welcome. We hope you enjoyed, and we hope to see you back. Hey, Charlene. We have the Stamp Queen collector in the house. Hey, girls. Good to see you. Yes, you came out. You stepped out. It's so good to see you. It's been a minute. And we have Mother DeBose. Hey, Mother DeBose. Mwah. And I think that's it.
Okay. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you so much, you sweetheart, you. All right. I also want to give a shout out to Kevin Moore. He was the song in the prelude, Can I Testify, from his CD entitled Every Breath We Take. All right. You all have a great week. We'll see you on Black Friday. I guess that's what it's called, the day after Thanksgiving. Coming up next, we're going to let Russell take us out. You all have a safe holiday, and Lord willing, we'll see you soon. All right. Love you. All right, Russell, it's all on you.
Yeah.